Good morning. It's me, Pearl, from Pearl and the Prayers. And this is Tuned In Tarot. And we are here to take a look at the balance between the divine masculine and the divine feminine energies inside of ourselves, understanding that whatever state we find this energy in, we can expect to see that reflected back to us in our interactions with others and in our external environment. And if we want to shift or change, we need to shift and make a change within us. I'm tired. Bear with me. I did oracles for a good old Monday tune in. So that's what we're going to do today. And we're going to start, of course, with what we actually need. So let's just take that moment that I've been encouraging us to take at the beginning of the reading where we just hone in on what it is that we think we need right now. And then hold that in your mind for a moment. Whatever that is potentially ego-based. Maybe you're in alignment. Sometimes we desire exactly what we need, but a lot of times what we need is sort of a little different than what we actually need, or like what we think we need. So this is what we actually need. Oh, justice. Adjustment, this card says, actually. So there's an imbalance and there needs to be more of a balance. And there's likely we need to learn some lessons here. So there might be some of us that are being called right now to work with a person in a relationship to learn karmic lessons. And there are others who might be receiving justice after having had a time where there was an injustice. This can be about legal contracts, things that are binding. So being bound to something or taking a vow or making a promise to do something, keeping promises. And apologies when something has gone wrong. Justice is the willingness to make amends. Okay. Let's start with the Divine Feminine today because she had more cards showing. And this is the tune-in, the divine tune-in. So the way that we do this is we start with the head space and then we look at the heart space in clarification of the head spaces. So we're looking at what do we think first? How do we feel about what we think? And is there alignment in those places? Are there any things that we could shift or change to help us have a better experience or to receive what we desire? I'm using the Mystic Mondays Tarot today in the headspace. And the top of the deck for the Divine Feminine is the World. So interesting to start with Justice and say this might be a time of learning karmic lessons. And we see Divine Feminine ending some kind of a karmic cycle here. She is feeling or thinking that there is something that is over. Complete. There's been completion. She also might be thinking about what she wants her world to look like. Because this is an interesting deck that I chose today, sort of an abstracted deck. And incidentally, if you'd like to send me a deck, you can click the link below or go to my website, pearlsprayers.com, and click send me a deck. Just feeling into this. But this is an abstracted card, so it doesn't really depict the world the way that we normally depict it. It's actually depicted as an atom, and it's like the foundation of the world. It's like the bits and baubles that we're made up of. It's almost like the whole world can be contained in that one explosive moment or something like that. Divine Feminine is thinking kind of abstractly. There's a sense that everything has changed because she's ended some kind of a cycle, and so she's trying to like adjust to the new world that she lives in. The niggling thing in the back of her mind, little thing that's kind of bugging her, is this Chariot energy upright. And look, she feels free. So whatever cycle has ended has liberated her. She surrendered the reins to the divine, and now the divine is pushing her forward, leveling her up. And I can't believe that. I think that's why there's that abstraction in the headspace, which is sort of like, how do I think about the world now? Because she can't believe the bondage that she had been in and what it feels like to be free. And I think she seeks completion in general. She's like, okay, I've learned my karmic lesson and I'm ready now. I'm ready. I'm open. I'm on top of the world. I know who I am. I know what I want, even if it's a little amorphous right now. The first thing on her mind is the Queen of Pentacles upright. So this is what she's been working on, and now she feels fully established. I love that this image has a pearl in it. It's like the pentacle it's not just a pentacle. It's not just gold that's been melted down and, branded. It is a rare, precious gem that I'm wearing today, and that is created by circumstances, extraordinarily unique. Good morning, Saffron. Extraordinarily unique to its state. It's hidden away in a shell for a long time, and it is discovered and plucked out. So it's like Divine Feminine has done this with inside of herself. She's experienced a lot of traumatic events, and it's refined her. And each thing has caused her to create this layer of protection over her, layer after layer after layer. Sometimes we see this in a physical body, like mine. The traumas that we experience cause us to seek comfort to protect ourselves from having those experiences again. If we have abandonment or benign neglect wounds, or even more sort of powerful wounding by parent figures, then you can have quite an extraordinary pearl with a lot of layers. And Divine Feminine is thinking of herself this way. Like, I really did it. I did everything I needed to do to create a strong sense of myself, a solid throne from which to rule. And she feels really good in this energy right now. I mean, the World and the Queen of Pentacles and the Chariot, I mean, following that is the present time experiencing communication. So I do feel this communication does come from a divine masculine based on the clarifier. We'll get there, but I do feel like this probably comes from a divine masculine who's communicating, or it could be that she has more than one masculine communicating with her now because she's in that Queen of Pentacles energy. She's on top of the world. But I do think there's one in particular that she's enjoying some kind of communication with. And Divine Feminine is feeling confident enough with that Queen of Pentacles energy to go with the flow. So she's not forcing anymore. She doesn't need to. She realizes her worth and her value. She's holding on to that. And so she can go with the flow. And the communications that she's receiving have allowed her to move out of isolation. This is the Hermit card. This is shocking to me because like a few weeks ago, I was really, or it was last week even, I was like really just like, God, can we tell a new story? And there's a new story unfolding. So whatever Divine Feminine has let go of has allowed something else to become more prevalent in her mind, or more in the direction she's wanting to go, because we're seeing that Eight of Wands. So in going with the flow in this communication, it's driven her to come out of this period of isolation where she was just sitting there and waiting, feeling very vulnerable and alone And in this image, there is no light. The light is looking outside in the window. Very quarantine kind of a feeling, something I can strongly relate to. And now that Divine Feminine is feeling this worthiness, and she has this, in some cases, a pretty strong financial base to flow from, she's able now to come out of this period of just soul searching and trying to figure out what to do or why she does things, and just being like, I know who I am, I know what I want, and I'm resisting being alone anymore. And because of that, I really want to see like this culmination, that completion. I want to see all those aspects of my world come together. Clarifying the Queen of Pentacles, we have the Ace of Swords in reverse. And this is an aside. There's a side message here of her embracing herself this way has hurt someone. She's had to cut someone out. But the main theme of this is that she has completely cut out her old ideas of herself, which might have included someone that got hurt, I'm feeling. But she did not have a lot of clarity about her worthiness. She couldn't see her worthiness. And it was only in finally cutting out this energy that she's able to embrace that preciousness that she has. That it's like, well, actually, it's probably the other way around. The precious feeling, the feeling that she was precious is what allowed her to cut out this other energy or cut out these old ideas about the self. So she's no longer feeling cloudy about this. What's interesting is clarifying this Eight of Wands card is the Knight of Pentacles. And of course, he's the slowest moving knight in the deck, but he's very solid and stable and very reliable. Hello there, Jazz. And I really feel that this masculine energy is feeling like is receiving these communications and then responding in a solid, stable, and reliable way. But he might take his time to get back to her. It might take a little bit of time to get back to her. And the reason why this is happening is because he's this King of Cups energy. So he's very psychic and very sensitive and good and kind, compassionate and just and caring and loving. And he may tend to drink. There's definitely drinking associated with the King of Cups. And he might do that in order to I'm getting a masculine energy that feels he needs to drink in order to express himself. And it takes him a long time to express himself because he can be withholding. So Divine Feminine still has attracted to her an energy that moves slowly, but is stable and reliable. And if this was a past person or a past energy, this King of Cups that did not express, like if this is two separate individuals, like maybe this is a newer individual and this is the one that Divine Feminine has decided not to wait for, or she is no longer going to be alone because there is this new masculine energy that's arriving that's good and kind and loving, but may also have some withholding qualities or just be slow. Like the energy, the communications, it feels like this momentum to like come out of this isolation, but there are restrictions. There's a reason. There's like masculine's like working on something. He's methodically figuring something out. He's plotting through it. And Divine Feminine, I think, is realizing that this is similar to the pattern that she left behind. So she's still kind of having some some old ideas of the self that need to be let go of because of that. Okay, now let's clarify with the heart space. So what is complete for this feminine? This bullshit. Two of Pentacles, the back and forth. There is some back and forth stuff that she used to do where she would give too much and she wouldn't wait for reciprocation. She wouldn't wait for initiation. So something that the feminine has tended to do in the past is rush things. The feminine will make a decision about something and stick to it. This feminine is decisive for the most part. She might have a masculine energy that she carries inside of her that is less decisive, but the feminine side, the emotional side, knows what she wants because she feels it, and you can feel what you want. Okay, so she's like, she would try. It's like she would think about the masculine energy and just go with the flow and send a message. And this masculine from the past, and maybe she's even seeing a little reflection of this in the right now, although I think this current masculine that she's focused on actually does communicate. He's just slow to communicate, whereas the other masculine energy did not communicate, that she left behind. So in the past she would give and receive nothing, and now what's happening is she's giving and she's receiving, but it's just taking its time to come towards her. And she might have to consistently initiate. I feel something about that. But the heart space is leaving behind some cycle that seemed like it would never end, of this back and forth and back and forth. She's decided, no, I'm not going to do that anymore. And the niggling feeling is the Two of Cups. We got the Two of Pentacles and the Two of Cups. We have an eternal connection. And then, of course, we have the Lucius here, which is that twinning energy that goes back and forth. And I'm using twinning very lightly from now on. Twin flame being an energy that is within you and that alights within a particular person that you're focused on to teach a lesson. That is my new belief about twin flame. I do believe that we have people that are meant to be, that are soulmates that we've had past incarnations with, etc. But I believe that energy kind of gets focused in certain places so that we can learn the lessons from it. So that energy will leap into the karmic partner that we hear about all the time. That person carries some of the triggering energy in them that you need. And then it jumps into this vessel, and then it jumps. And as you refine yourself and refine your ability to have healthy foundations in relationships, and your worthiness and your preciousness and all those ideas finally come together, then that energy that has gone back and forth and in and out, which is what sexual energy does, finally, after all of these places where you go into separation, you learn something from the separation, you come together with an individual, you learn something, you part, and then finally it culminates because there is a central soul, right? That's connection to the divine power. And look what happens. In the end, it doesn't actually come back together. It actually stays here in this higher level, facing each other. So there is this misconception, I feel, that your twin is the one that you're going to be with. But in the end, the twin teaches you how to see yourself, the mirror, the reflection. And it's the person who matches your ideals that is the person you should be with. So if the person who's your twin that you've been forced to reflect with isn't coming, there is a person who you have learned to be with through the progress of that energy. That is what I feel happens. And I think that the reason why this card is showing up here is because Divine Feminine is realizing this coming together and breaking bread and sharing one another's cups. It does not need to be this endless cycle of back and forth because of a label that you assign to someone. There's definitely this sense of when she's completing something, that is what is completing. This idea that somebody who doesn't give you love is your person, is something she's leaving behind. No. In order for my person to be my person, they must bring their cup to me, and we can share in the overflow from each other's cups, pouring back and forth from as it fills up from the divine, right? This font that comes from the divine. But no more is she going to accept any people in her life that don't give her love. Like, there's no reason to hold on to anybody who doesn't give you tangible, how do I want to say that? Actions, tangible acts of love. Tangible. Not just ethereal, not just like, oh, we have a telepathic connection and he vaguely alludes to me in his stories on Instagram. Don't feel bad. I did that for 6 years, but like, no more. That's not tangible. The person that is in my life now, while he may move slowly, gives me tangible actions of love. So Divine Feminine's really feeling that. This Queen of Pentacles, how'd she get here? We already talked about it. This is the Three of Swords in reverse. So some really not great shit just went down. Heartbreak and separation. But separation is really what created the feminine's sense of herself. Because when you go into separation, your whole mind is just like, why? And the why, because we tend to feel we're inadequate, the why forces us to look at ourselves and be like, why did this happen? Did I do something? No. Maybe. Yes. It literally doesn't matter. The willingness to look, to analyze, and to be self-reflexive is the gift of separation. And this is the gift that has allowed Divine Feminine to fully become her authentic self and realize how precious she is. The pain she's endured from the wounds, the irritants, that is what has refined her. So we're seeing that she has become who she is because of the heartache she's experienced. For some, there could be a resistance to looking closely at the wounds within. Sometimes I will see that when we have a Pentacles energy, which is a grounded, earthy energy. And there might be a tendency for that energy to want to avoid emotion. So for some, that's true. But I really think it's mostly just that this feminine has experienced heartbreak, but it has transformed her. This Eight of Wands is being clarified, interestingly, by the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. So this is what I was saying. Sometimes this Divine Feminine can get real pushy. She wants to push the energy. She wants to rush things. She wants to go forward. And her heart is realizing that she doesn't want to do this. Rather than be over nurturing, over protective, and over mothering, Divine Feminine wants to trust in her own pentacle. When you trust in what you have, you don't rush things. You know, it's so interesting because I went to this party last night and I've entered into a period where I really am in my Queen of Pentacles, and I can go to a party and I can have options. And that's not always been something I felt. Most of the time, for like after I lost my mojo, after I got married, I really was like, oh, people don't like me because I'm fat. And I was like, which it doesn't make any sense because I've always been a thick queen. And I used to have, and like when I was younger, I didn't have I'm a Leo. I like flirt, and I could kind of take my pick, but I've always been very loyal to one person, and I had like a monogamous relationship and only a small interim between my first boyfriend and marrying my ex-husband. So I came out of that and was in this like period where I would be like, I don't know why people are interested in me. Like, it didn't make sense to me. And I didn't understand. There was an element of I desperately needed people to like me, or like I had a loneliness, right? I had like a hollow ache and a desperation about me, because because I wasn't fully healed from the experiences I had. And I was in an abusive situation and had been in a couple abusive situations before that. So I was incredibly overprotective of my energy. And I couldn't go with the flow. But I definitely experienced last night at the party being in that place where there was people that were attractive and they would communicate with me. And in the past, I would have been an eager beaver, dot. And I would have been like, oh, like maybe I can date this person. And oh, maybe I can date that person. And we were commanded in the new moon intention spread. If you didn't see that, I did that yesterday. We were commanded actually on the feminine side to take a time out from trying to create relationships. And I didn't think about that until just now, but last night I felt that. Like I just sat back and held on to my pentacle and was like, "You're damn right, you want to fuck me." It's not gonna happen. And it's not because I'm holding out for my divine masculine who is fucking a bunch of random 20-year-olds at parties. Like, no, it's not because of that. That's why that's what it used to be. It used to be like I held on to this pentacle to protect it for my poor little masculine who needed me to be so loyal to him, like whatever. Bitter much. But it wasn't that. It was a genuine knowledge that the pearl that I hold is so precious that the odds that you're going to get to stick anything in or around me after meeting me one time at a Hollywood party, not likely. Not likely. Don't need you. I don't need you. And that was a very interesting experience last night, I got to tell you. This is being clarified. The Hermit in reverse is being clarified by this Two of Swords. Now, this is really interesting because this Two of Swords will not quit. It is haunting me and everyone else involved because you're all here. I didn't shake. I do like dairy-free creamers of a few different kinds. There's like nut pods, Pretty Fire. Califia Farms has a pumpkin spice one that's legit. But if you don't shake it, then every time you go to get your coffee, you're like, oh, cool, cinnamon. So good, though. Okay. Also, they have a peppermint mocha one. Fire. Two of Swords haunting us. So I always had sort of a limited... There's a few cards in the tarot that I would be weirdly consistent with when I saw them. I'd be like, oh, this is about a decision or not wanting to make a decision and blocking it. Okay. Well, there's a lot of other stuff in there that I kind of didn't get until recently. Things I didn't pay attention to or notice. And that was from another deck from the Hermetic Tarot, which is like very esoteric and has a lot of symbolism. And when I was studying that, I found out that this card, which was created at the same time by the same group of people, that there's like 4 different decks. There's the Thoth, the Smith Waite, and the Hermetic Tarot. And then there's one other one that I can't think of the name of. They were created by the members of the Golden Dawn. And it was the Golden Dawn had a language of symbolism that they used, and they used astrological symbolism as well. And so there are different versions of the cards with slightly different takes because there were different readers, like different practitioners. So they had their own languages for how they would interpret it. And the Hermetic Tarot adds an additional layer that the Smith-Waite leaves out, which is that this is actually the Lord of Restored Peace. And it is a card that is about a truce as well as about being a decision, not wanting to make a decision. So there's peace and there's pleasure after pain that is associated with this card. So Divine Feminine, by guarding her heart from people that are not worthy of it. And now I caution myself to say not worthy, because I feel like everyone is worthy of love, but not everyone is worthy of a place at your table. So Divine Feminine is like, hey, I love all the people, but they don't get to be with me, all of them, right? There's certain people that I find worthy because of the reciprocation or whatever it is that I'm basing this. Hopefully I'm basing it on reciprocation now that we're in 2022 and we've been doing this for 2 years. Please base it on reciprocation, people. But so Divine Feminine is a kind of at peace. She's, interestingly, the Hermit is about going within too, as well as this is because of this blindfold. And it's about like, it can be like, I don't want to make a decision because I don't want to hurt somebody, or it's a difficult decision to make. I need to go within and either avoid the decision or try to get more information to help me make the decision. And if you don't, then the universe causes a tower usually. But for Divine Feminine, I feel like this is her putting up strong boundaries, maybe using a little bit of excessive force to assert herself, because she is not going to wait anymore. This is an old idea. This is the Three of Wands in reverse, where she told herself that she was going to have dominion over her world. All she had to do was just wait for those ships to come in. The problem is she was looking for specific ships, and when they were out at sea, maybe one of the ships, it went down. And, maybe they salvaged everything and put it on a different ship. And that is the ship that's coming in. But Divine Feminine is looking for the old one. And this is a pattern that she's leaving behind. No more is she going to trust or have faith in old ideas, telling her 9:22 on the clock and 32:44 on the timer when I just looked at it, telling her that she needs to wait for completion or fulfillment or to receive something, she doesn't need to wait to receive anything unless she wants to. Clarifying this, holy shit. I fucking told you. Oh my God. So clarifying this, Knight of Pentacles is the King of Pentacles. To get the Queen of Pentacles twice and the King of Pentacles, and one upright and one in reverse, too. So interesting. The one in reverse is over this. And here's why Divine Feminine's rushing. Divine Feminine feels a little pushy. She feels a little rushing because she knows how freaking great this new Divine Masculine energy is. Worthy, abundant, prosperous. Even if he doesn't quite see himself this way yet, Divine Feminine can. And since Divine Feminine can see, this is husband material. Like, I like this one. I want this one around for the long haul. She's like, is he going to talk? Is he going to talk to me? I really want him to speak to me. I don't want to speak to him too soon. I just want to I don't want to be over nurturing. I don't communicate. And he's moving really slowly, but I feel like he's moving slowly into this. So I'm just, calm down, feminine. This is like when I told my person, so it's so weird. Like, I love Harry Potter because it's my favorite book, and I made my password this character name, and it's your name, and I just type it every day. And he was like, calm down, but also that's cute. Here's the King of Cups. It's not the King of Pentacles. This is the silent king that's not saying shit. And here's justice, which is the theme of the reading. I definitely made the right decision in my life, because this is telling me that this other king, who seemed like a good guy, but was really silent for some reason. Don't know why. Well, that's the thing about a king that doesn't speak. A king that doesn't speak or doesn't communicate has the ability to keep you in a state of needing closure. And if they never give it to you, then you'll never leave them. So that's why they don't communicate. And Divine Feminine is understanding this, because this guy communicates. He might take his time, but he always comes through. And sometimes he comes through with even like vulnerable information that she didn't expect, showing that he has this paternal energy within him, the ability to be a good father, a good provider, protector. And this other energy, Divine Feminine is feeling, was a karmic energy that taught her the lessons that she needed to learn to balance within herself. All right, so that's what feminine is thinking and feeling. How about masculine energy? Let's take a look. Oh, let me flip everything over first. Ooh, let's see. How many reversals? Uh-oh. Okay, so this person is definitely like turning some things around, transitioning, transforming, because there's a handful of reversals here. Let's get in it. Top of the deck, overall headspace for the masculine energy is the Star. So he sees Divine Feminine as a star. She's really shining. Look, she's made something, and it's prize winning too. It's like, you know, she's number one at what she does. He's like, nobody does it better than this Divine Feminine. Nobody. And I don't care how many other people are competing. I don't care how many other options there are. This feminine is absolutely a star. And I want to make her feel that way. I also have a lot of hope that she's going to be my star, but she's my wish, and I'm filled with, I have the same kind of, like the way that this feminine is holding this pie. This is like how the masculine feels about this whole feminine, or how he thinks about her. She's incredible. The niggling thing in the back of his mind is the Five of Swords in reverse. And I love this because he's no longer experiencing a mental conflict in regards to the feminine. He potentially had some karmic messes to clean up. There's like lessons learned. There were too many thoughts. So there might have been thoughts about too many individuals. Sometimes it's like, I'll get that feeling like he's got multiple things he has to attend to. But this is reversed. And in this sense, he is leaving behind the feeling of feminine energy cutting down to size. Like, this can also be he cut out some feminine energy that was in his life, but anybody that made him feel like lower or not good about himself. So isn't it interesting that the Divine Feminine released a masculine and making space, and the Divine Masculine seems to have cut out a feminine making space. So think about it like this. You've got two twins, right? They think they're twins or whatever. They're actually karmics. But you've got this one, the feminine over here, and she's like, I can't be with this guy. And you've got the masculine over here being like, I can't be with this chick. And then if you imagine that this masculine, that the Divine Feminine is like, I can't be with you. I can't be with you. You're karmic. I'm trying to get my fingers to talk to each other. And this feminine over here that can't be with this masculine, it's like, well, I'm not saying your ex-partner is going to go with their ex-partner, but just the idea that in those relationships, when one is released, even if it caused pain to, like, even if this feminine energy has caused pain to this king that she has cut out of her life, this king is now free to find his divine feminine, as this divine feminine is free to find hers. So it's interesting how we're seeing that parallel going on. It's not like this feminine is releasing this masculine or vice versa. It's something else. This is the first card that's coming up. It's the Page of Pentacles, and this is in the past placement. So now there is an imbalance here because the divine feminine's thought of herself as a Queen of Pentacles, and the masculine is thinking of himself as a page. So he's not quite on the same page, pun intended, yet about his worthiness for her. And he feels a little bit like he wants to come and make this offer, but he's not sure if coming in right now might make a little bit of a mess. So that might be why we're getting over here the slow moving energy. Like, we have now the page, the knight, and the king, but the development is happening in feminine's head and heart, right? Her intuition knows my person is a king of pentacles, and her head knows that he is solid and reliable. The divine masculine's concept of self is, or it has been, oh my God, I didn't even see that coming up next. I thought it was the Three of Pentacles. It has been that he has been more of a page energy, more childish. And he doesn't want to be that way because, look at this next card. It's the King of Pentacles in reverse. Now, who else had thoughts or feelings of themselves in a reversal? Feminine energy. So very interesting here to see this parallel. So now we have the king and the queen in reverse here. Again, another indication of letting go of something, releasing something, both of them. So this King of Pentacles, he's kicked back, he's relaxed, he's got his dog, he's got a pipe, he likes his career. There's these three pentacles here, so we're thinking about his work, the material, and what we're seeing is this masculine's concept of self. We're seeing, remember I said there's reversals and we're going to see things turn around. So he's shifting into a concept of self where he's releasing the shadow traits of the King of Pentacles that come from childishness, that include, being worried about your reputation. It's like anything your ego desires, like having a lot of, like flashing your wealth, or being able to like have a lot of partners, or like whatever ego-based kind of things that haven't served him, that came from this childish place. He's releasing that so he can turn around and enter into this energy, because he wants to make an offer. And he this is that one where he's got to get that liquid courage there to be able to go and speak to her. But he's like a dapper youth here. He wants to express to the feminine that, you are a star and I think about you all the time. And I really want to tell you that I love you. The Seven of Pentacles is in reverse because he feels like he's probably making the divine feminine feel a bit impatient, because she takes care of herself so well and tends to her garden and has all this potential. And divine masculine's childish behavior, like even though he's been in earnest and like wants to make her like he's just been doing these little small gestures, like trying to make sure that she knows that he feels this way without totally saying it, because since his King of Pentacles is in reverse, he's still not quite feeling like he can be like, hey, will you marry me? Or And he doesn't want to get into a relationship with this feminine and just have it be like all the other relationships he's had before. He might have a fear of feminines in the past being impatient with his childishness, but this feminine is heavily trained to be patient by the person that she had before, who was extremely withholding. But that lesson she learned from the very, very withholding person is now helping her navigate a situation where this new person moves slowly, and she needs it to go slowly. She doesn't even realize it. So it's actually helping her. And masculine maybe doesn't realize it. In his headspace, he's like, I don't know. I think like I might be, maybe she would feel impatient with me because I'm doing only these small things. But what he doesn't realize is that this is exactly what she needs, because she needed to let go of this other karmic energy, this third party energy that was blocking her. Likely the person that she was giving the label of the twin. So the King of Pentacles is being reversed, or is being clarified. It is being reversed. I'm going to reverse it because I just said that. It's being clarified by the Four of Cups. So the masculine in reverse. So the masculine is sort of thinking a bit with this in its reverse position. We've got him thinking, so as Four of Cups normally is about, the Ace of Cups is there for you, but you're focused on the empty cups. But in this image, we see a divine feminine who's really surprised and delighted by this beverage that's being offered when all these other ones have been so empty. And I think the divine masculine is starting to realize that even if he makes a small gesture, compared to what the divine feminine was getting before, it will delight her. And this is kind of helping him. That's why I'm saying this energy is turning around. He's getting more grounded. He also wants divine feminine to release fantasies about him. He wants her to see him as he truly is, his faults, his ego. He doesn't want her to like be surprised later when she finds out about maybe he has potentially a dependency on some things, or he might just feel like she just like this is just kind of like, I'm not good enough. I hope she realizes it. I'm gonna take a chance anyway. But like, there's definitely a distinct possibility that she's gonna find out that like my shit does stink, The Knight of Cups is being clarified by the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. So divine masculine is feeling frustrated with the divine timing. It's actually masculine who's feeling a bit impatient with this feminine, especially if he had been waiting for her to get rid of somebody or something. And he might not have even known about this other person, but you don't have to know about it to feel someone's heart closed or to feel their fear of opening up. So he might have been frustrated at how long it has taken for the divine feminine to like realize, hey, I've been trying to make this offer to you, and like you didn't fucking notice it. But I've actually been trying to do this, and I know it's my fault because it's just been a little bit too small and you might not have picked up on it, but I'm here and I'm doing it. And I'm also seeing that divine masculine wants to change the situation too. He wants to change the situation from one where divine feminine wasn't receiving any offers to being the one that gives her this offer. And he feel he doesn't want it to come from anyone else. He's worried about the time right now. There's some element that he can't control having to do with the timeline. Like maybe he's like got a work thing, or he has to wait for like legal things. It's unclear, but he's chafing a bit at the timeline. Okay, top of the deck, overall feeling of his heart space, the 10 of Wands. So this is a big burden to hold on to. He wants to reveal to everybody that this is his person. He wants to communicate and finally say, like, you are you are a star and I want to tell everyone about you and I don't want to hide my feelings for you. I also might carry a sense that that maybe I myself as a masculine energy, I'm a big responsibility. Like maybe there's a feeling he has that he could be a bit of a burden to this feminine. But the strongest feeling I'm getting is that he just really wants to put down this mess of ideas and actually communicate the feelings he has. What is clarifying the Five of Swords in reverse is victory, the Six of Wands. So again, publicly acknowledging this divine feminine. And even though this is only 6 wands, it's so interesting because it's like looking like what it would look like if we put down this burden and we didn't carry it with us anymore. Then we would be able to just like fly. Like, so he in the back of his mind, he's like, I know I'm going to be successful. Like, I feel like this is going to work out. And I feel like she's going to allow me to bring her this offer of peace and just see what we see. The Page of Pentacles is being clarified by this Eight of Swords, and there's that butterfly. Now, in this image, this butterfly, I was just going to say if she opens her wings, she will cut them and be unable to fly. She will die. And she's holding on to that truth. So she's seen something clearly that scared her. And these won't really cut her. They're illusions. It's just thoughts. Swords are thoughts, not tools of violence. They are actually just piercing thoughts that you can't ignore. And in the Eight of Swords, this is often framed as a self-sabotage card. But I believe that self-sabotage plays a role in divine timing. So it's like a divine detour. So I don't look at it as something that is against the self. I look at it as something that is for the self, and it is for self-protection. This divine feminine, remember, had to protect herself from an incredibly difficult and painful interaction with a third party. And this masculine, because of that, and sensing that this masculine has a sense that this has happened. He either has heard or spoken about it, or he can just feel it, which is what we're seeing here. He's feeling it. Now it's interesting because I could have easily said, oh, the masculine energy feels that these small gestures are sort of sabotaging his ability to see success with the feminine, but we already know that he feels successful. And I said she for some reason in terms of the butterfly. So I really feel that this is more that divine masculine is thinking, I need to go slowly because I fear that I will do something to cause that feminine to like retreat into her protection, like to protect herself from me. So he's thinking that that's why he's got to do that, because of his feelings about her protecting herself from him. Wow. Following that card is the same energy from the Page of Pentacles. It's Daughter of Pentacles here, though. And it's clarifying the King of Pentacles in reverse. So this is where we're seeing that he's wanting to leave behind this issue of I'm seeing like a fawn is wobbly on her legs, like she can't quite, like it's when she's first born and she can't quite stand up. There's this feeling here that the masculine has had a hard time getting the material finances he needs to feel confident. This has been a real issue for him, and that might be why he feels feminine will protect herself. Remember, he saw her as like taking care of her shit, tending to her garden, taking care of herself. Like, this is someone who can take care of herself. So he's like, I mean, I don't really have any money that I can, like, nothing to speak of really. And for the masculine energy, money is like, it's the commodity that gives them freedom. For a long time, feminines had their body because they were a possession. Their body was the thing that would cause issues with confidence because your body had to be a certain way to be appealing so that someone would buy you. Let's clarify that relationships for a long time in our culture have been transactional in nature. It have not been about having healthy foundations or boundaries. It's been about, I have to survive. I'm not allowed to do or be as a feminine, so I have to attach myself to a masculine so I can have a credit card. Up until 1996, in some states, I could not have a credit card in my name, but it would have to be in my masculine's name until 1994. 1994 was the last state to finally allow women to get credit cards in their own fucking names. I'm sorry. Okay. So the feminine's body and her fixation on her body that we have destroyed women with and feminine identifying individuals with in our culture, the masculine version of that is the wallet. Like, the feminine will torture herself about her body. The masculine is going to torture himself about his wallet. And this one is doing that. Especially because this feminine's got a little money, or she knows how to make it. So he's like, damn, I saw those price surges on her website. Like, I know what her value is. I got to find something that's going to be equally as prosperous as this gorgeous star that I am focused on. The Knight of Cups upright. And so that's that, what I just talked about, that essence, that's why we're seeing this in reverse, because this is old shit. This is like masculine feelings of inadequacy that come a little bit from intimidation from this feminine who can handle her shit together. And so masculine is transforming these thoughts and feelings about himself. That's why we're seeing all those reversals. Clarifying this Knight of Cups is the Chariot in reverse. And we all already saw the Chariot over here, upright, divine feminine, free. I just like, wee, like, that's literally how I felt. Like as soon as I did this. And it's not like it's been easy to let go of a person that you thought was good. It's just, I just keep reminding myself, you thought he was good. Unfortunately, thinking didn't make it so in this case, but it's because my intuition would counter my fantasy with the feeling of reality. If he's so good, why isn't he talking? If he's so good, why doesn't he reciprocate? If he's so good, why doesn't he do things for other people? If he's so good, why doesn't he take care of his family and protect them, which he doesn't do? He thinks he is, but he's not. That's how the divine feminine has sussed out this person's state as a karmic. So I feel her feeling so liberated, and then feeling, okay, now that this guy's gone, oh my God, I thought that would never end, and it probably is still going to bother me, but now I can go into the next thing. But this masculine is smart. See, he's smart. See, really smart. He doesn't even realize how smart he is. He's smart and sensitive. He knows that if he does more than this feminine is going to freak out because she just got burned. So this masculine is trusting his intuition and holding back the motion of going forward. Now, he's not completely smart. He's also a little bit afraid of the chaos that's going to ensue once he finally says, I love you. Because once he says, I love you, that means he's actually got to handle his shit, right? And it means that he is got to make plans that include another person. And, you know, he's only shifting into his King of Pentacles energy. He's really still a bit of a page. The page is the upright card here. It ain't the king. We do have this knight energy. He's a page in the material, right? And in his heart space, in his emotions, he's a knight. He can express, he can open up. This is not the king. Honestly, I'd rather get a Knight of Cups than a King of Cups sometimes, because King of Cups isn't going to fucking say shit to you. But the Knight of Cups is going to be able to tell you everything. In fact, if he gets a little bit of liquid courage, he might tell you more than he planned to, which is something that might have happened that caused a little bit of chaos. He might have actually gone in a bit and was like, I have to clean up a bunch of messes. And the feminine was like, chill. Well, I know someone else with a bunch of messes. I just got rid of him. So good luck with your cleanup, man. Like, divine masculine can feel this. He's so sensitive to her. So yeah, and I don't think he loves the feeling of being out of control. And he definitely feels out of control when he tries to think about the feminine. Or when he tries not to think about the feminine, I should say, because that's more likely. This Seven of Pentacles, he thinks that she's going to be so impatient with him because he doesn't have a job. Not the type of job that would really allow him to overcome some of the obstacles he has in the confidence department. He wants something that's more like what the divine feminine has. He has something, but it's not quite what he wants. Now, this is also about partnership and teamwork. So he feels like this divine feminine might start to get impatient with him if he doesn't work with her. So he's a little bit afraid to like overcome this obstacle of having to explain to her what his real 3D situation is like when it's a little bit not great. He doesn't want to have to, I see a masculine energy that he's leaving behind his former ideas of himself, right? He's releasing his egotistical views of himself. And consequently, that means that whatever work that he was trying to do before, it was about his ego. And he doesn't want to make choices from that place anymore. So it could be that he had like a job that made him feel really hot and cool, and it probably didn't pay well, or even if it did, it had so many negative aspects, like it was time consuming and his time spent wouldn't be enough. And I also think it's possible that he's impatient because work isn't going well. Like there's these obstacles that keep happening that prevent him from gaining the financial stability he needs. He's like, God, all I want to do is have a consistent income that I can rely on, that I don't have to disperse to all these other things. I want to be able to build our life with it, because there could be masculines that have money, but they also have past partners and they have to provide for those partners. And so they could feel limited this way. But definitely this masculine is just like, I would feel bad if I go to her and I'm like, hey, I love you. I want to be with you. Can I move in? Oh, God. Honestly, sure. I can take care of myself. You do what you need to do, bro. The Son of Swords is in reverse with this Four of Cups. So we're getting here a resistance to looking honestly at something. And the something is in the headspace here of this Four of Cups in reverse. So this is, maybe this masculine has just been very impractical in the past, or he's being really impractical with, look how big this drink is. She doesn't need, she needs like, at the most, let's give her 16 ounces, maybe 8 ounces. This is a lot. You don't have to give her this much. And I think that the divine masculine is like afraid of, he's been reckless in the past, and he's afraid that if he tells her the truth that he really can't give her, that it's really a fantasy that he could give her like all this. He's just not being honest with himself about it. That's undermining his confidence with her. And this Wheel of Fortune in reverse is being clarified by the Son of Wands in reverse, or the Knight of Wands energy in reverse. So this is him, I think, feeling like that he needs to change his inconsistency, his ineffectiveness. If he's had other sexual partners and engaged in sexual energy with them, he's not wanting to do that. He's wanting to change. He's like, I don't want to be like a charming Knight of Wands who just, can flirt with everybody. And also I feel like somebody who falls in love with everybody easily, but doesn't really commit to anybody. Like, he's like, I got to change this because this feminine, she's not going to accept this. I can tell, like, and the feeling that it's taking me a long time to clean up the messes that this version of myself made, including like my financial situation. All right. Very interesting. That tracks. Okay. Let's now go over to Divine Feminine, and we will do her oracles and help assist her out. I am suddenly starving, but I think I can make it. Okay. Top of the deck. No, not the top of the deck. Top of the oracles. First oracle that we're looking at is the archetype. So, Divine Feminine. Right now, you're in the shadow attributes of the beggar. Dependence on others to the exclusion of effort. This is a 5 of Pentacles energy to me. This feminine has got her hands over her eyes. She's got this warm mug of something in her lap. I know that this is to collect money, but I felt like a warm energy. Also from the red. I actually feel like, Divine Feminine, you are beginning to confront your dependence on others to the exclusion of effort. I feel like this feminine is doing almost like a double face palm. Like, what? Why was I begging for crumbs from this person? Like this person. Why was I doing that? Why didn't I work to release that sooner? Like, why was I depending on that energy to make me happy? Why do I depend? So I feel the Divine Feminine a little bit kind of down on herself about this. And it's okay, feminine. Like, you needed to experience this. First of all, you're a light worker and a healer. And, oh my God, Saffron, I'm seeing, wait, I thought I was the Divine Femme the whole time, and now you're the Divine. Well, you are both. You are both. And the one that is resonating very strongly with you is where you are in your energy and your dynamic. And you are both things. But it's just, you might not be in tune with how you do certain things or how it's the same for you. But yeah, this feminine is just like, oh my God, like, this person was just so bad. And I was just begging for scraps, and I just can't be this way anymore. So you're confronting this feminine. You're confronting the empowerment at the level of physical survival. You're awakening the spiritual authority of humility, compassion, and self-esteem. So you really took a hit. Like, your self-esteem has taken a hit from all of these things that have happened. I'm sorry. I just got a text. I got a couple of text messages, and I got, you know how the pattern like sends you messages? It just sent me a message about my person who's like, it's like your friend so-and-so is going through whatever. And it literally I just looked at it. Okay. Divine Feminine, you are getting Saint Raphael the Archangel as your guardian here, and healthful eating. And seeing as I just had a night of debauchery, which was more of unhealthful drinking than healthful eating. I did have some yummy tacos, and I got McDonald's on the way home because I was like, I need to soak this up. and I'm in a car, and I'm never in a car, and I'm going to go to the drive-thru of McDonald's in this Alto. So I made my Alto get McDonald's last night. It was really fun. Also, my driver was half Italian and half Mexican. I was like, damn, your cuisine, your home cuisine must have been so fucking amazing. And he was like, it was. I'm like, and I was like, wait, was there Sunday sauce? And he was like, there was Sunday sauce. It was the greatest conversation. We had a lot of fun. Okay, but I should probably not be eating any more McDonald's today. It did not feel that good after I ate it. It tasted good for a minute. So, divine feminine, you're wanting to take care of yourself and nurture yourself right now. The Saint Raphael is also a protector of marriages, unions, soulmates, and I'm loving all of the drunchies. I feel that I don't even get munchies for weed anymore. I'm too much of a chronic smoker to really experience anything except the pleasure of doing something with my hands now. So yes, divine feminines needing to take care of herself and also needing to really believe that Saint Raphael is completely like protecting this union, protecting you as you journey towards your fulfillment here. When I focus on my inner light, I see the world through the lens of love. So focusing on your inner light, I like that, coming up with that Two of Swords and recognizing that it has this deeper meaning of the Lord of Peace restored. It's like once divine feminine goes within and focuses on her inner light, then she can see even this karmic through the lens of love. I was triggered last night because I happened to be in the place where I found out that this person slept with someone while they were sending me pictures of engagement rings and shit. So that was an interesting experience. It was the first time I was back in that house. I had actually been there one other time and not known that. And then this time I went back and was like, holy shit. Holy shit. I was having a hard time. I was like, okay, I still feel some torture and anger over this happening, but overall, I don't feel hatred for this person. You know, I definitely had, like, for instance, when I got extremely drunk, I took a video of myself in the mirror in the bathroom, and I said, did you look at yourself in this mirror after you fucked somebody and you washed your dick off? Did you look at yourself in this mirror? Did you think of me at all? I hope you did think of me. I hope you always think of me for the rest of your life. Like, literally, I made a video of myself doing that when I was really drunk. I was like, wow, I'm glad I didn't talk to anybody at that party last night about what's really going on inside of me, except for my friends that were there in the early evening. Like, I went outside with them and I'm like, hi, can you talk to me for a minute? I just need to say this because I'm thinking it. And I was like, blah, this happened. I didn't give details, but I'm like, this happened. And I'm just the first time I'm here. And they were like, we feel you. And I didn't talk about it again. But divine feminine, even this person that you may have had to enact justice over, if you can go within and focus on your inner light, you're going to see even that individual through the eyes of love. And I do. I know that person does love me. And it's just unfortunate that their version of that is just not okay, you know. Divine feminine, good luck is here, which is like the divine timing card. It's also got a cat on it, which is independent energy. So listen, this masculine is working on themselves. They're getting their coin together and they need a little bit of time to do this. And obviously, if the masculine energy is working on their coin, working on what so that they have material stability, then you should do the same thing. Or if you have that really all together, maybe look at something in your life that is in a reversal that needs to be shifted and just focus on that inner light while masculine's doing whatever masculine's doing, and it'll be okay because you've got good luck and you've got good fortune. And the only thing that luck needs a lady, right? Luck needs the feminine in this case, or, any person, but we're looking at feminine energy, to be prepared. Because you can have all the luck in the world, but if you're not prepared for what you're being given, you can't receive it. So divine feminine, just remember that it's your job to be an independent queen and prepare yourself to receive what you've asked for. Your dreams need a practical plan. See? The masculine is working on the practical aspects of their dream. And you have to do the same. Now, if you're like, well, my finances are fine, that's fine. It doesn't have to be about your finances. But how are you at living with someone else? How are you about deciding whose house to go to on Christmas, or where you intend to live together, or how you plan to remain independent and pursue your dreams while combining your life with another person? And there might be dreams that you have that you haven't given a whole lot of energy to, or as much energy to, because you were so focused on this other masculine. Now, don't let this, oh, I got rid of this one. Don't let I got rid of this one become, and now I'm focused on that one, because that will cause the same pattern that happened with this guy. Pretty soon I'll start pulling King of Cups for the new guy all the time. I mean, we're going to see everybody in a King of Cups energy sometimes, but I mean, it'll be like every time. It's like, okay, here we go. We got this guy. He's not talking. Like, so if you are just going to replace this old energy with a new one without actually doing the thing that you needed to do, that your first karmic cycle should have taught you, if you are not pursuing your dreams, here's one I love. People come to every live reading I've ever done, and at least 500 of them say, when is he coming back to me? And it's a valid question, and I'm not judging that question, but I'm responding to it without pulling a card by saying, your person will come back to you when you don't need him to come back, because you realize how precious you are, and you do all the things that you said you wanted to do after you were with a person. A lot of people don't like to hear that answer, because that's a lot of work, and it requires being practical rather than just being like, someday my love will come. Absolutely. And they'll pass you right by energetically if you aren't prepared to greet them. And that means completely releasing past energy, which means you must grieve. So you can't be intoxicated the whole time that you're getting over someone. You actually have to feel the feelings. They suck. Believe me, but it's okay. You can survive it, but you got to do all that stuff. All that stuff. I'm seeing you say you just said that out loud. I don't know which it was, because I didn't see it come up. Keep smoking cannabis. Okay, Pillar of Light. Your vibration is rising, and you are the oracle. So you are uplifting here and others, and you are uplifted in yourself. And you're really powerful right now in your ability to tune into your heart space. And I feel a lot of calm coming from the feminine energy today. Here's your message from Animal Spirit. Oh, luck be a lady. Yeah. Be here now, Hummingbird Spirit. Oh, yes, we definitely need this message. Last night I was like, you are here, you are here, you are here. You are not in the past where something in the past happened. You are here now. Okay. Nectar is everywhere, but Hummingbird Spirit is here to remind you that flying from flower to flower and being all over the place wastes precious energy. Be still. Be here now in the present moment, enjoying the sweetness and sustenance available to you. Focus on one flower today, just one. Nectar is there for you, and Hummingbird Spirit's message is that wherever you put your attention, there your energy flows. Are you focused on the sweetness or on finding something better somewhere else? Always yearning and feeling that life is not enough and you are not enough? All you seek is right here, right now. Appreciate the present and you will see that you are where you need to be and enjoying what you are entitled to enjoy in this timeless and perfect moment. Gorgeous message. I liked how it said to focus on one flower. And while I know that you are like real eager to be like, oh, I'll focus on this flower instead of this flower. I'm telling you right now, nah, bitch, you got to focus on this flower, Hinty. Focus on this flower. I have chills right now from that message because if you focus on this flower, look, he's not a king yet over here. If you focus on this flower, he won't become a king. Because a king can't become a king if his mother is showing him how to do it, right? He's got to, quote unquote, be a man and go out and figure out himself without your help, even though you're very wise and you're an oracle. And I do know that you could make his life so much easier if he just fucking listened to you. It's not your job to be his mom. That's why your Queen of Pentacles card was in reverse. You don't need to speed this up. You don't need to make this go faster. The only reason you would need to do that is because you don't like focusing on your own flower. Focus on your own flower, okay? You can do it. I know you can. I believe in you, and this is your theme, the Four of Cups. Accept the offer. Also, it says on it, luxury. So, Divine Feminine, you got your dreams need a practical plan, and then you got this card, dreams and luxury. If you want a life of luxury, you got to give it to yourself. And as you figure this out, the masculine energy is going to be mimicking you because you're a mirror of one another. 10:11 on the clock, 1:21 on the clock, on the timer. You're a mirror of each other. And I see Saffron just put 1:11 there. Can I make it up? And guess what? The mirror is every human that you interact with. So in every interaction, there's something. Like I was having an unpleasant interaction last night. Not terrible, but I was observing somebody who every time I see her is mad at other people and talking about how that bothers her. And that, like when I was experiencing that, I was thinking to myself, oh, you're creating this. You just keep saying, oh, you just said it again, and you're saying it again. Oh, now you're saying it. Now you're telling this person. Now you're telling another. Now you're telling that person. Telling that person too. Oh, now that person knows. Okay, you just told everybody what you didn't want, and you're still talking about it, and you haven't asked anybody how they are. You didn't ask a single thing about me. You don't. All that you can fucking think about is your own self and how everybody's shit to you, and you wonder why that. And then I was like, what did you start out talking about when you got to the party? And I was like, well, I was having a traumatic experience. Okay, so is that person. Okay, that's true. She's having a traumatic experience. She's realizing something about herself, right? And how many people did I talk to about the shitty thing that this person has done to me? I talked about it today. I talked about my experience of it last night. I talked about the version of that person that I don't want to see. I would love to see a healthy version of this person. Honestly, it would piss me off. Right now, I would feel like, wow, I did all that work. Now that person is great and healed and whole. I mean, that's great. But my ego would be like, fuck you, bro. Where's my fucking thank you card for all the shit that you learned from me and didn't ever give me anything? So I had all my own bitterness and I was doing a better job managing it because I had less alcohol. And because I think that I have a different personality type. But when I looked at that person, I was like, oh, this is a chance for me to find things that I don't let myself. Maybe I don't let myself. Like maybe her ability to be like, listen, y'all are motherfuckers. Like, how do you treat me like that? And I don't do that. I don't say like, excuse me, you can't be a fucking bitch to me. Like maybe it's triggering me because she's doing something that I don't let myself do that I should let myself do. And it's grating on me because it's showing me something that I feel or think, but don't act out on. So Everyone is a mirror. So as you clean up your shit, which might not be your finances, like maybe the masculine's like, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do, but maybe your finances are fine. You find the other shit. And this is telling me right now that your finances might be fine, or they might not be, but your dreams need practical plan. You need to give yourself luxury and not wait for anyone else to do it. That will take the pressure off this guy. Okay, let's go over to this masculine energy and see how he's doing. Oh, he's in the light attributes of the hero. This is a passion for a journey of personal empowerment. So he's actually enjoying himself figuring this out. It's like a challenge he likes. I just heard, I heard maybe a Capricorn energy. So he's enjoying the Capricorn season if he doesn't have a prominent Capricorn placement. But there is definitely this feeling of I kind of like this. I was sort of letting myself go for a long time and it didn't feel that good to me. It wasn't really who I was. And now I'm starting to kind of feel invigorated by knowing that all I have to do is figure out how to empower myself. And then I can meet this feminine energy at the top. And we're almost there. Divine Masculine's guardian angel is here to protect him and help to hold his vision. And the feminine energy is very good at this. So the masculine has the example of the feminine holding on to a vision of the divine masculine himself, not of a person, but of this concept that there is this masculine energy that when in balance is a feeling of completion within self. Instead of praying for an outcome, I pray for the highest good of all. Wow. This will change the game for the masculine energy. So if he's not already doing this, the universe is telling him that if you shift from praying for this outcome with the feminine, I want to be with her. Please let it work out. Please let me make enough that this can happen and we can be together. And instead shift that to, listen, I don't know what is best for me. Only you can know that. And I just pray that what I want is in alignment with the highest good. But I surrender what I want to you. And I just pray for the highest good of all. And that's sort of when I first started pulling this first card in the readings, I tried to talk about it like this is what is for the highest good of all. But it was hard to articulate it. And I realized, oh, we think we need something. We pray for the thing we think we need. But if we transformed the prayer into praying for what we actually need and then allowing ourselves to receive that message. Remember, this reading didn't say, oh, the thing we need is for us to come together. It actually said the thing that you need is for the scales to be balanced right now. In one case, there was someone who was giving more than the other could return. And in some cases, that meant that there was a karmic lesson, a karmic person that needed to be released. And in other cases, it's actually more about figuring out how to be in the light of the two different aspects of self. Divine Masculine is getting the healing card. And I actually see that this masculine is seeing the feminine as healing some of her, I'm going to say this word, but don't take it personally, issues. But that is what the masculine energy is thinking, that you have some issues. And don't take it personally. Again, he does too, but he can tell by how you interact. Remember, he was being so careful with the very small gestures. He can tell that you've had some kind of very deep wound. And it's likely that he may have inflicted a wound on a feminine who he has let go. And he's healing from that wound that he inflicted, right? There's always a loss when you break up with somebody, even if it's not mutual. You're still going to feel that you need to heal the wound from the breakup itself. So the masculine is experiencing that energy. Look at the bigger picture. Full moon in Sagittarius. Did we just, is I think the moon is in Capricorn right now, but it was just in Sag, right? Yes. Yes. It just entered Capricorn yesterday. That's right. New moon in Capricorn was yesterday. But prior to that, it actually was in Sagittarius. And this is in reverse. So I feel like there's a timing element here of the masculine on the new year, because this is when the moon was in Sag. He looked at the bigger picture and he's like, next year, I'm going to have what I desire. And that is, or not next year, but like by next year, like this year. Like he was in 2021 on Friday during the Sag moon and thinking, like looking at that bigger picture of his life and being like, this 2022, I will achieve these things. These bigger overarching things, home, career, relationship, those big things I want to accomplish this year. And then we're getting the initiation, rite of passage, and crossing the threshold. So it's like with that energy that he carried in, he's now preparing to cross the threshold into that new world, coming here out of this darkness and going towards this light, which of course is that blue throat chakra or truth speaking energy, and the crown, which is the purple color, which is full connection to the divine. And then he's getting 2 animal spirit cards today. Interestingly, time to let go came out with the abundant universe will provide. So the masculine energy did let go of something, and he's got to trust that now that he's let go of something, that law of attraction is working for him, or the law of it's actually called the vacuum law of prosperity. There's a few different laws of prosperity there, but the vacuum law of prosperity is where you create a vacuum, something must come in. Where there is a vacuum of, like, that's why a vacuum works. It like sucks the air in. It creates a void, and then the air must rush in to fill it. So letting go of something allows abundance to rush in. If he lets go of his vision of himself as being unworthy, then that abundant universe will be able to turn that energy around into the King of Pentacles. I wanted to get the protection message. Yes. Okay. So divine masculine, you need to let go of poverty consciousness. This says, when Buffalo Spirit visits you with the message of protection, he is asking you to shift your thinking from poverty consciousness to one where you trust the universe will provide. Have you been falling into financial insecurity, worrying that there will not be enough money in the future? Have you been stressing and feeling sorry for yourself, worrying that because you have no romantic relationship now, you will never have one? Do you see scarcity where there is, in fact, abundance? Are you comparing yourself to others and falling short? Self-pity, entitlement, fear, and lack are all thought viruses that seduce you into darkness. Buffalo Spirit nudges you to make a gratitude list and be mindful of your thoughts at this time. Even if outer events have happened to challenge your beliefs in abundance, outer conditions are temporary. If you are suffering from the malaise of fear that you are impoverished, realize that it is only poverty of perception and perspective. Prayer, communion with your higher power, and gratitude, coupled with compassionate, selfless service, will snap you right out of it. Give to someone who has less than you. Be thankful for the tiniest things and say affirmations. Then you will remember abundance is the true nature of the world. Very beautiful message coming for the masculine. Okay, and then we were getting also, that was 10 card and the 31 card. And then masculine's theme is the 3 of Swords. So this masculine has got some wounds in the heart space that I think he inflicted, and he needs to heal from that experience. We already saw the time to heal, or the healing card. So masculine has got to heal the wounds in his heart space. So he feels like he just did something unworthy of him, and that's affecting his prosperity consciousness. And he is also potentially ready to pull this, like to pull the swords out, and that is what he will be doing over this next week. And there's also the pain of separation is usually the fuel that pushes us into union. All right, so let us now take a look at the closing cards for both masculine and feminine side of self, the things that you are in complete union in regards to. And at this point, let me just tell you, if you would like to book a personal reading, please go to pearlsprayers.com. If you go into the box below, you can see a link that takes you to a page that has pretty much all the main things that I talk about that we have available there. So you can become a member for $3.33. Oh, that reminds me, I saw that somebody requested membership and I have to approve them. But so you can become a member, and then you can see the Tell Me Everything spreads I do usually on Thursday and then one on the weekend. There will be other treats and goodies there too, but that for now, that's the main attraction, honestly, is the Tell Me Everything spread. That's where I tell you how do they feel about the connection, what are the things they're sorry for, what are they hiding from you, what do they want to say, what do they hope for, what do they promise. It's a pretty good reading. So if you're interested in seeing those, you have to become a member. You can also automatically become a member if you purchase the Spiritual Nourishment course, which is a self-directed course. There are instructions for how to sign up below. And it is a 4-week course that is called Becoming Spiritual Nourishment 1, Becoming the Empress. And you just learn about food and intuition. It's starting to teach you how to really, truly trust your intuition, and also provide nourishment, pleasure, and adornment from the feminine energy so that we really honor, uplift, and revere the feminine, which has been suppressed. So this is a way for us to do this. It is not meant to be just taken by feminine gendered individuals. It might seem weird to take a course called Becoming the Empress if you're a masculine identifying energy, but it actually might be the best thing you've ever done, because it's highly unlikely that you're very in tune with your feminine side, which is why you have a difficult time with expressing feelings and with kind of understanding and being able to comprehend how feminine energy works, because you suppress yours. So it's actually a really beautiful way for you to come into balance. I highly recommend it. It has just started in its first week this week, but it's not a course that you have to take on any given time. You just purchase it and take it as you will. I just happen to be doing it right now along with a group of people that just started on the 1st. But you really haven't missed that much if you want to join us today. So that is available there. You can also send me a deck, and pretty soon I'm going to have a send Bowie treats and gifts button, because this bitch eats so many toys. Okay, let's go ahead now and close out this reading. Oh, I didn't say schedule-wise. You can see me tomorrow. It will be members only over on the site. It's still a YouTube video, but you have to get the link from the members site. And then I will be here on Friday or on Wednesday. Oh my God, for some reason I keep thinking it's Wednesday. There's not a Tell Me Everything tomorrow. I'm off tomorrow. I'm going to be home with shrooms. It's going to be fun. Okay, anyway. No, Wednesday is Obstacles Removed. Thursday is Tell Me Everything. Friday is Release and Rebuild. And the weekend, finally, I will be with Sin from Grace Strega, and we will be doing our TikTok readings. I miss her so much. 3 weeks is too fucking long not to get the tea with Sin. So that's going to be happening next weekend. All right. You both are in the shadow attributes right now of the Lover. It says obsessive passion that harms others and self-destructive devotion. And I do think that you had this in your life. This is what is being released. And I do feel that you are moving into the light attributes where you have great passion and devotion and an unbridled appreciation of someone or something. I love unbridled appreciation of someone or something. I've not really let that sink in, but I am realizing how much I bridle my feelings for this person because I don't want to fall into the patterning of this other person, and because of fears I have of intimacy, and being right about whether this person is a good match or not. So I'm really feeling how I bridle my feelings and my passion, and like how much I want to speak to this person. And if I want to have a communication relationship with somebody, I can't shy away from communicating. And the reason I am is because the person in my past resisted every communication of love. And they did that because they were like Voldemort. They'd never experienced love, and so they couldn't touch it. And this isn't that type of person. So I will be able to express to this person, and I don't have to hold back. And I'm just gently realizing that. So don't hold back. Just allow each other to just have passion and devotion. As long as your focus remains on your own flower, you can love all the, you can have passion, you can have devotion to another flower in a flower pot that you think is great. But if you're not focusing on your own flower, it's not going to be able to stand tall next to this one that's getting all the light and the love and the water and the attention. Yours will be reaching, bending, trying to get to that sunlight, and it's going to, eventually wilt and die. So you have to focus on your own flower, but it doesn't mean that you can't have unbridled appreciation and devotion to someone else. In fact, you have to have that for yourself first, or you won't have it for someone else. It'll just be obsessive passion that harms them and self-destructive devotion. See the difference? The two of you don't compromise. Don't compromise the situation with bringing in other energy right now. Don't that can be, because I'm really seeing people release that old energy. So don't bring in new energy right now. It's not even a good time to do it. Energetically speaking, until January 29th, we're in the Venus in retrograde period. That's a period to heal past relationships, to break up with people that have, you've to finally like let go of people, to reunite with past energy, but not necessarily to come together. A lot of times just to communicate and heal, which sometimes can mean separation, because separation is what really brings healing. Better than when you're with somebody and you feel comfortable and you forget about yourself and you numb yourself out with the other person, you become obsessed with them. And then before you know it, all the problems you had before are still there. And now it's this other person's problem too. So just don't compromise your ideals, your desires. Don't please others. Just do what is best for you, and constantly check in and ask that you're doing what is for the highest good of all. You're getting, when I lean toward love, I am led. And it was in reverse because I fear you being skeptical of this. But it is true. If you lean toward love, you are led. So again, if I'm holding back from expressing love because I'm afraid of overwhelming the other person or pushing the communication because I don't want to be pushy, there's a difference between not being pushy and sending a message that's like, hey, I hold myself back. I actually do want to talk to you more, but I don't because I'm afraid that it's going to bother you or something. And, I know you're busy and doing stuff, and I don't want you to think that you constantly have to, pay attention to me or anything like that. And that's why I haven't been communicating. But if it were up to me, I would talk to you more, and I want to. If I can't say that to this person, how am I thinking that I can be intimate, physically intimate with them? I can't even admit to them that I want to talk to them more. And I'm afraid that they'll be like, oh, no, I don't want to talk to you more. Okay, either they will talk to me more or they won't want to. And I'll be like, oh, I guess that person didn't really want to talk to me as much as I want to talk to them. Because this isn't like my old person. This isn't like the person that I would say, hey, I need to actually talk to you. And then they would respond with complete silence or a vague post that was an excuse why they couldn't. In love, there really aren't excuses. They just really aren't, you know? It doesn't mean you're never, when you're in a loving relationship, that you're never going to make an excuse and that means you don't love the person. It just means that when you lean towards love, you are led to be honest, to be open, to go where you need to go. If you're doing something from a place of love, it won't go badly. It will go perfectly, as perfect as you can get. You're getting the strength card from the spellcasting deck, and it's definitely, I feel like you have a very strong connection. You both feel the strength of the connection and the potential here, and you are doing a good job of controlling your egos in the situation. You're not being triggered by each other as much right now. Work through your fears. This is Scorpio energy in reverse, so there's a resistance here. You gotta push through your fears. You have the strength to work through your fears. That's what you're being told right now. You might not believe this, but you do have the strength to bust through those fears. Your guidance is divinely guided. This is Akasha. So you are receiving, remember, you love each other. You are learning the feeling of that. And when you lean in love, you are led where you need to go. So you are divinely guided by loving acts. Wasp spirit is here with that message, sometimes life stings, and it is the protection message. So let's take a look at it. Oh yeah, I know this one. Okay. So this is holding on to the anger, jealousy, or resentment because you got stung. And it's really just, you need to let it go, release those feelings that are making the sting hurt long after the stinger has been removed. Wasp spirit has woken you up, and now you are called to trust that disappointment can lead you to a different and better path. Align with spirit now and trust that this too shall pass, and is already doing so, for the pain subsides when you stop telling the story of how much it hurt, right? I told my story again today in YouTube, but I'm glad I did, because first of all, I can't be perfect all the time. I know I'm close, but no, I'm not close at all. And I don't, when you come and see a reader read, you, just like I used to feel at church when the priest would talk to the whole congregation about families and being married. Like, I'm sorry, are you speaking from experience, sir? Have you been married before? Do you know what that's like? No, you've got no fucking idea what that's like. So what the fuck are you talking about? I like the idea that the person who gives you advice is a person who is like, sometimes I don't take my own advice and I get fucked. And other times I think I know what I'm doing and I don't. And sometimes I can't take my own advice because of my ego is so huge. And, and if I didn't act the way that you act, I would not be relatable. But I do act the way that you act. So I'm a great mirror for you. And I can tell you that in this video, and in the last few videos from the last few weeks, I have been telling a story about a person who fucked me, and not in the good way. And I still feel anger and I still feel resentment. And I actually put it into my intentions yesterday that for this next month, I would like to release the poison from the sting, because this actually came out in the new intention reading as well. There's something about talking about it that feels good. And I would guess that part of it is getting the poison out, because if I kept it in, it would just fester. So I don't fault myself for allowing, it's been a few weeks. This was a person that was in my life for over 13 years. So obviously I'm going to need to mention it from now and again to get rid of the poison, to get it out of me. But once it's gone and I'm completely free, then that next person that's working on themselves right now and releasing their own poison that they may have against themselves for inflicting wounds similar to what my masculine inflicted upon me, because my masculine did that unknowingly to a certain extent, and so did the masculine in this storyline. The masculine I was focused on shared divine masculine attributes because he was a reflection of me. But there's a point where that reflection ends and they become separate. A separation that is there because you literally cannot attract them. I can't attract a wasp. It won't work. I asked the universe, please don't let me have any wasps. And the universe is like, okay, you keep stinging yourself by choosing wasps. He technically wasn't a wasp, but my first one was. Never again. I'm Italian. I'm a fucking papist. Okay, anyway, so sometimes life stings things. Get over it. Get over it. You're going to be fine. That's what the universe is saying. Get over it. Just let it go. What are you doing? Why are you telling that story? Go tell the other person. Oh, go tell that person. Oh, tell that person too. Now everybody knows your business, and your business is tragic, and it's makes people uncomfortable, and it doesn't feel good even when you actually think about it. It just makes you mad. And the thing is, anger feels a little bit better than despair, grief, and disappointment. Anger feels way better than the squeezing, debilitating pain of that wound. So get it out. Let the anger push you out of the depression. I'm fine with that. It's up the tone scale in terms of emotions. Let it get you up and out. And then once you get past that point of where you have your little vengeance fantasies, then you'll be free. Here's your theme: truce. The Four of Swords. Rest. This is coming out again. This came out, I think, I don't know, yesterday, 2 days ago. But this is rest. Heal. Take a minute. Pray. Have faith. Trust. The Two of Swords is also a card of truce. And there's two of Swords here. So both of you have made a decision. And the decision has most likely wounded someone else. Even if that person was wounding you over and over again, once you let them go, you do wound them when you do that. I mean, it doesn't matter if that is inevitable, because of how they treated you, it still hurts. So there's two external people, or maybe more, depending on how many partners each one had, but that have been hurt. And there's like a time to grieve and respect and give space and maintain silence. So my urge to communicate right now, like, I want to allow myself to, I might hold back on that a little bit more, because it's a little bit of this. It's a little bit of like, I need you to talk to me more. So I might need to just get a little bit more comfortable and trust. And what's really interesting is that here's how you tell the difference. People are like, how do I know who my soulmate is, or my twin, or whatever? And I'm learning the difference. The soulmate that you want to be with, or whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter. The person that matches you, when they're quiet, you still feel pretty safe. Your anxiety is not through the roof. The person that's teaching you the lesson, when they don't communicate with you, you feel extremely unsafe. You don't know what they're thinking, what they're feeling. You don't have a sense of it. You don't feel confident. You don't. And that is to give you this gift of triggering you, to show you that you need them. And as long as you need them, you won't rely on yourself. And as long as you don't rely on yourself, you won't feel good. So that lovely person was a gift to you. Their silence, as frustrating and torturous as it was a gift that taught you how to feel secure, because you can't get your security from anyone else. So once you do have a person in your life that, when there is no communication, while you may want it because you like it, You don't want it because if you didn't have it, it would mean they didn't love you. 10:44 on the clock. It is, I want the communication because it makes me feel good when I communicate with you, and I like the feeling. But when it's quiet and when it's silent, I feel you there. I trust you. That's how you know your person. If you don't trust the person that you've been holding on to all this time, it's not your person. That person is teaching you how to learn to discern who is trustworthy. And you didn't know that because there were probably a lot of untrustworthy people who were normalized as lovers or caregivers in your life. But in truth, real love from balanced people who feel good and whole and are connected with the divine, that love always feels safe. And if I never get to be with the person that is my Knight of Pentacles right now, that's becoming this king, I know he is. If I don't get to be with this person, I will be thankful for the rest of my life that he taught me this lesson of security and what makes someone feel secure is that when they ask for confirmation of something, it is given. It might not be the answer I desire, but I am not ignored. And I don't have to hear what I want to hear, I realize. I just have to hear from you, right? I just have to hear something. So beautiful lesson that this non-communicative energy has had. And wowie wow, it's 1:56 on the timer and I'm doing it. If you're here, you must want it. So this is the go general part of my readings, which I really freaking think works really pretty great. Okay, so we're going to find what has the masculine been thinking about over and over. Can't stop thinking about it. It's really bugging him. He wants to stop. He knows that thinking about this is keeping him stuck. And what is the same thing for the feminine? And then what will help remove that? And how do we go general to do that? All right, let's look at the feminine. What are you thinking about over and over and over and over? Was the feminine first? I think she was first. It doesn't matter. Okay. Sudden change, shocking news, surprise, epiphany, upheaval, and transformation. So divine feminine keeps thinking about this tower moment. You don't say. She keeps thinking about something shocking she learned, how things have suddenly changed, this upheaval that has happened, this transformation. And what will help her stop thinking about this sudden change? This says the snake, competition, enemy, clever, malicious, looking over your shoulder, and the other woman. No longer thinking about this person who caused this, who saw this. It's like you recently realized somebody was an enemy, that somebody was actually not their best. This has narcissist implications there with the snake energy. But that they were clever, that they were malicious. So you keep thinking about this, how shocking it is. I've said that over and over again. Like, I'll say, like, I'm so shocked. It's just shocking. Like, it's shocking. Like, I keep saying that. It is. It is valid feeling. But thinking about it over and over again is causing you to have third-party fears that could potentially bleed into this new energy that you're going to be able to receive now that you've let this snake go. And you have exactly the same assignment that was given the other day. Stabbed in the back, heartbreak, pain, separation, deception, and shocking attack. I told you. so interesting because in order to go general about this shock, you're being told that you want to think about a time in the past when somebody showed who they were and you realized that they were not, that they were actually attacking you, that they were betraying you in some way. I want you to go back to that time. Maybe you were a little child. You found out shocking information. I always say this one. That sounds so stupid, but when I was a little girl, I think I was probably 11. I was old. It was older than you normally are when you find out this information. My parents told me about Santa, and I was like, "The fuck did you lie to me for?" Like, I was really upset. And both of my parents were shocked at how I took it, but I felt so betrayed by them. It just seemed like it was. First of all, I didn't like that they took the magic away from me forever. And I just wanted to believe. So I was really upset when I found out that it wasn't real. And I thought I would never be happy again. And I would never trust my parents again. Like, I could never trust them again. And obviously it's something that has stayed with me. And I think about it, I'm like, oh my God, remember when that happened? Like, I handled that. It's crazy how much that impacted me, enough that I talk about it in YouTube readings like 30 years later. But I recovered from that. I don't, I do trust my parents now. I didn't, I recovered from it. I was able to move on to a certain extent. There's always a little part of me that's like, why? But I was able to move on. So you want to think about, if you're like, I can't believe how shocking this is, and I'll never get over it, and I'm afraid that like it's going to happen again. You just got to think about times in the past when you've experienced something shocking and it didn't ever happen again, or it was such an upheaval, but it was for the best. That's another one too. Like if you found out somebody was betraying you, but then not having them in your life was like the best thing, think about something along the lines of that. You can also go back. The other thing that you should do is, if you find a place it's hidden within you of this betrayal from childhood between 0 and 7, go and reimagine a different outcome. Like, I could imagine my parents, the way that they ended up telling me, my mom was really flippant about it. She was kind of mean. She was like, well, it's not real. Okay. And then my dad was much nicer, and he was like, and then actually my dad kept the magic in it. He was like, there's a spirit that embodies that energy of generosity, and like, and that spirit is real. Like, my dad like tried to undo the damage that my mom had done. And so I guess I'm sort of called to remember that you need to go and do what my dad did and repair the damage of the betrayal, and say, look, this person didn't handle this well, and like validate and acknowledge the child. For the child's mind, things are black and white. And so they don't really have a lot of subtlety or nuance yet. That's just the nature of your cognitive ability when you're a certain age. So they need things explained very concisely, and their feelings have to be accepted. If they're not accepted, they will deny their feelings for life. So go and validate your feelings from any betrayal you've had in the past. Imagine a different outcome. When you imagine a different outcome, you create a new memory. The new memory helps forge new pathways in your brain. Divine masculine. Oh shit. What are you? You're thinking about every single day, all day long, can't stop thinking about it. Cupid 0, have faith, love is coming, surprise invitation, or meaning and hesitation. So you are really wanting to you're wanting to go in with that Knight of Cups energy and just be like, Divine Feminine, I love you. I love you lots. But you have a lot of hesitation, And you want to try to have faith that this is going to happen once you get your shit together, but you have to get your shit together. And so it's like you're hesitating and you're like, if I hesitate, am I going to hesitate too long? Like, oh no. Okay. What you should do instead of focusing on whether love is coming or whether or not you should say something or how to express yourself or what to do, you need to focus on your self-worth. This is 9 of Pentacles. It is time to heal. You need to do your shadow work and you have to have self-appreciation. Once this is in place, you'll know just when and how to move. Remember, when you focus on your inner light, you will be led by love. So focus on your self-worth. Appreciate the hell out of yourself. Like, that is really going to help you. So how do I go general about that? I am not shitting you. I'm getting the engagement ring here. Engagement, partnership, commitment, eternity, completion, and union. So you need to go very general about a time when you have made an offer of commitment to something and it was accepted. So maybe you auditioned for a play or to be in a band, or it's 10:55 on the clock, or whatever, something that required you to show up, show what you could do, and then you had to wait to be accepted or not. This could be even like applying for college. You don't necessarily want to think about relationships because that's what you're thinking about. Instead, you want to think about just what's a time when I had to get ready, get prepared, be the best version of myself, and then request permission to do something, to commit to something. I love the college one. That's pretty good for me. Like to go to Berkeley. In order to go to Berkeley, I had to practice the pieces I was going to do. I had to be ready when I got there. I had to propose to them and say, I propose that I be a student here at this school for a 4-year commitment. And the school assessed my offer of my performance and my responses to their inquiries, whether I was going to be a good candidate. And they picked me. They agreed. They accepted our engagement, and I was fucking married to them afterwards, and now I owe them a whole bunch of fucking money. But yeah, anyway, don't think about that part, but think about that part where you got to get ready for something. You said, hey, am I good enough to be able to commit to this? And they were like, sure. So that's how you're going to go general divine masculine. You're going to think about that. And what that's going to do is it's going to allow you to appreciate the times in your life when you have been prepared for something and you were able to keep your commitments to that thing. And if that's never something you've been able to do, that's something you might want to do in the physical before you go trying to commit to somebody in marriage. All right. The final thing is at the bottom of the deck. It's the Paradise card in reverse. And you're not enjoying each other right now. You're holding back from enjoying each other. So look out for that. Like I was saying, I should let my person know that I really enjoy them and I want to communicate more with them. Not at the moment because of that truce card. Right now, I just need to rest and lean into the loving feelings I'm starting to feel. And then allow that to inspire whatever conversation. Wow. 2 hours and 8 minutes. Love that for me. Just can't shut up. I love you all. Thank you so much for being here for so long. And I do appreciate you. Thanks for your support. Thanks for booking readings, for clicking the support button. This was a rough past month for me in a lot of ways. And I definitely can use any of the generosity that you might have for the next couple of months as I'm really building and getting into a solid, stable place with my business, which is just this and music. Incidentally, I should have mentioned, I do have a studio session on Wednesday, assuming that can happen. So I may not have an obstacles remove spread on Wednesday. Although sometimes I wake up and I'm still bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and I feel like I can do it. But it is a vocals day, so I don't know if I should save my vocal. I'll decide on Wednesday morning, and if you don't see me that day, then you will see You will see it on Thursday instead, and then I will do a Tell Me Everything spread probably either on a different day or twice on the weekend. All right. Thank you so very much for being here. I shall see you all on either Wednesday or Thursday. Take care. Have the best day.